Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight, for a, Council School Board meeting. Today is December 18th, 2024. For the record, it is 6:50 p.m. I would like to go ahead and call this meeting to order.
President Flores?
Here.
Vice President Spring? Here. Secretary Trujillo? Here. Board Member King?
Here.
Board Member Winchell? Here.
Okay, item C is the pledge of allegiance. If you could please stand. I will go ahead and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item D is our land development statement. It is respectful to recognize the unique and enduring relationships that exist between indigenous people and their traditional territories. We acknowledge that we are on the homeland of the American people within the original territory of South Pueblo. This acknowledgement will apply as a reminder of our ongoing efforts to respectfully recognize, honor, reconcile, and partner with the Pueblo people whose land and water we benefit from in this great valley today. Item E is approval of the meeting agenda. I would like to make an amendment to the agenda. I would like to make a motion, move item IA of business. Discussion and possible approval of the, for the Taos County Community Schools Coalition Joint Powers Agreement with Taos Municipal Schools and an initial contribution of $5,000. All item F public comment, being that we have Ms. Penny Hall in the audience. We can take care of that business right away.
Second.
Order is moved. Thank you, Vice President. We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to move item IA in front of G. Following public comment.
Board Member Winchell? Yes. Board Member King?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo?
Yes.
Vice President Spring?
Yes.
President Flores?
Yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comment. According to the audience, you should speak in public comment. Anybody online? If you should speak of public comment, raise your hand. You do. None? Okay, we'll go ahead and move to our next item, the amendment agenda. Item IA. New business, discussion and possible approval for the Taos County Community Schools Coalition Joint Powers Agreement with Taos Municipal Schools and an initial contribution of $5,000. Superintendent Dr. Antonio Lincoln Jr.
So President Flores, Vice President, members of the board, this was one of the first meetings I had actually, when I started my superintendent's here, and it was essentially the county getting together with different entities, and I felt everybody should have a copy of the joint powers agreement. As an example, the now school, securities, administrators, I'll split them and none of those to join together for the county, agreement for the county municipal, so the municipal schools and director. Having said that, the joint powers agreement did go through the attorneys to review any language that we need to look through. And so the request was initially to have a district provide $5,000 to help start the initial component of this position as a director, as well as getting into the agreement itself. One note I'd like to share with you, which may be a question of how long this agreement will be. It's not indefinite, but at the same token, on number 7, it does say that any public agency may terminate this agreement by giving 6 months written notice provided in the notice clause below. So it's not an indefinite agreement. Any party in particular can choose to withdraw from it. But the idea behind this was that all the organizations or the public agency board members would get together for these organizations to help formulate an agreement or a joint, a coalition, excuse me, so that we can help the bring community schools towards the full county implementation.
At this time, I would like to ask Penny if you could just speak on behalf of the JPA and the work that's being done, share with the board, just a brief summary, and we can give like a path to that.
School board, in Holland, I've been working for about 3 years with 100% House and Community Initiative with the Community Schools Action Team. And housing was been involved since the beginning. We have been working to support parents, community schools, coordinators and principals, providing training, helping write grants. We helped the district write and obtain the 5-year $300 source of federal grant for community schools. And this coalition is sort of the kind of overarching vision we have towards sustaining community schools across the county long term. And it's actually written into that whole source of federal grant as one of the indicators of how the district plans to sustain beyond 5 years of grant that you've received. So the coalition involves 6 entities that Dr. Lane mentioned. As well, they're not signatories, but the charter schools will have represented on this coalition, and 100% housing initiative will have 4 seats, so that the community is represented, as well as the different government agencies. So it has passed, the county, they approved it a couple weeks ago, last week. The town council did it, it's been signed by the House of Governor, it's on its way to the first public governor to sign. Yes, the schools will be signed if they were to do it. So we're ready to get this going. We're very excited that a couple of years of funding committed, they're county in town. We've got a private foundation who's contributing some. We very much appreciate it. That comes to schools once we get some money. And we are also in the process of trying to hire a director, which is a position to sit in the county community schools department, who will be the person working in conjunction with the coalition work. And then the biggest, I mean, the two big pieces, one is fundraising, finding large grants that allow us to fund long-term for community schools, hopefully increase more schools across the community schools. And so that allows us to support the community school coordinators, principals, and work closely with the various community organizations, such as Health Recall, Food Depot, etc., who are already working with the community schools. So I think I got that out of all. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer. But I can.
Does the board have any questions or comments for Mrs. Paulo or Superintendent? Board member King?
I appreciate it, President Mark. What is your name? I didn't quite.
Pendant Holland.
Okay. And how long you been in the community, Penny?
I've been in the community permanently since COVID, but I've been partly in the community for about 15 years. And then I worked with community schools and health curriculum South Valley. And then I was there for 25 years.
Are you an educator or just?
I'm a prominent therapist, actually.
Okay.
And that's why I was attracted to 100% initiative, because it's a ACEs prevention project. And then because of my experience working in a community school, for at-risk kids, so I would chair or help facilitate a community school action team. And Bettina Thunderbolt, who's the director of education with the Buffalo, is the co-facilitator with that action team. And I'm doing it as a volunteer. This is something I like to do about. So I think.
Great. So what would be your vision in 5 years? Are you able to speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I mean, the vision would be that we have, as many communities, as many schools in our county that wants to become community schools. Right now, we have, I think it's 12 to 24, including charters, that have community schools. So we need to really keep helping fund those as well as add on many other schools. The idea would be that we would be able to find funding to help the schools, the districts, continue the program, because I don't know if you're aware, but the public education department started kind of a rug out from under their commitment to the community schools. They're supposed to be maybe 3 years, and we saw several legislature change how that's structured, so less money was specifically allocated for the schools. And that 5-year grant that you all have received is only been last those 5 years, and what we felt sustainability. But it would be just, the coalition would not be just dealing and raising money, they would be working like with, for example, DTO, who right now has, has chosen a couple of community schools in the county to provide their bi-weekly, food service to, because they were community schools, and our goal would be to work with organizations like that, to help others to take grant money, what funding they have to add to what we bring in. So that we'd be able to, you know, the big thing would be keeping the community school coordinator position funded, and that's also by extras. You know, for extra school programs, those are two big expenses.
Great, appreciate it, thank you.
Or the workshop?
Thank you, President Flores. I just want to say congratulations and, I'm just, you know, happy to see that things are moving along. Not many people know that the 100%, New Mexico initiative approached Taos Pueblo in 2020, and that's kind of like where all of this began, and Taos Pueblo didn't have the capacity. We did a book club with, Aurora Valdez, who communicated with, the people from AG, and, yeah, bringing it to the town is the best thing that could have happened, and I know community schools is the biggest right now, project of what the 100% initiative, and it's taken, I mean, to get six entities to do a joint powers agreement was huge, and it was a lot of work, and I know, yourself and Jennifer Amon and many people, Bettina, they put in tons of hours of work, behind this, and so I'm happy to see that there's progress, and, just thank you guys for all that you're doing, because I do think community schools is super important, especially for the underrepresented and underserved populations, within Taos County. So, I mean, you're halfway there, 12 schools out of 24 is huge, so keep up the good work.
Any additional questions or comments?
Just a comment, and, I can see that, there's no recurring monies, so you're all depending on yearly contribution from each of these. Each of these, schools, have any, or has anyone committed to more than 1 year of funding?
Yes, so the county and the town both committed to a minimum of 2 years. And as to the private foundation, they've committed to at least 2 years. And then what the plan, because we understand how vulnerable funding is for the school district, the plan is that the coalition board, which would be made up of the superintendents from Peñasco and from TMS, and then as well as the mayor, county manager, the heads of education and training for both fellows, as well as the other groups, charters, and that we will be meeting regularly, and one of our tasks will be as budgets become, our budget being looked at for the coming years, talk about what's realistic. So for example, we were, we don't want to put a burden on the districts. We also would like them to have some kind of commitment to it, but that commitment will be based on what, you realistically feel like you can afford, and also be in kind. Right now, our goal is to get this moving and hopefully be able to get funding, but that could be more difficult. with the ratification, changes in public education and potential changes that may come, we don't know, in the next years or more. But the goal is to try to be looking for large funding sources, to be able to start bringing in that money. And we've got 2 years worth of funding, 2 years worth of budget secured right now. So that gives us, that gives a director and a commission board a good head start to start writing grants and get going.
All I can say, it's quite a challenge. It is, I just commend you, and then, just have a vision for what it is that you want to do. And, it's huge, and, but I commend you, because it's, putting something like this together with a purpose and a very, very valuable, initiative. Thank you so much for your efforts. Find a good director. And who else did you say you needed?
Well, so we are going to be hiring a director. About in the beginning of the summer, the county voted to have a new school. Modeled after the municipal department in Aurora. And so they are in the process of hiring a director who will be working in conjunction with the coalition board. Brandon, I'm a little bit of trouble recruiting, partially I guess it's just my time of year.
Again, thank you.
I did have a question for you, that's all in regards to the makeup of the board, where you did, elaborate on that, and it's gonna be the superintendents of each school site, and then the mayor and the county manager.
Yeah, so basically each of the six signatories on the JJA will have a coalition board member and then an alternate. And so Superintendent Lately has expressed his desire to represent TMS on the board, or on the coalition board, as Superintendent Gonzalez from Young. Both will have an alternate, so they can't make the monthly meeting, they will be assigned somebody to, and then the mayor, and the county manager. And then, the position, although right now, we know who those people are in the positions, but it would be the director of education and the house. And then we would have an alternate. And then we have, so then we've got the charter schools, have agreed that they will, the board community school charters. They will have somebody representing them and an alternate, and then there will be 4 of us from the percent initiative. So right now, that would be Jennifer Ahn, who's the coordinator of the project, myself as a representative of these schools. Somebody in the nurture center, so you have Ellie or Sienna Sanderson, they'll be changing the position. And then I believe that, the St. Gonzalez Regional Affairs Advisory Council will be the word person. But the goal is to have enough overlap from 100% of the communities, with voices of parents and voices of the youth, as well as the community organizations. That are focused, they're ways to, nobody word from the communities too, as well as.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. My next question is for Superintendent Layton, does the district have the availability to contribute the $5,000?
Yes, sir.
It was, I was part of the conversation, and something that I thought we were very part of the district, if it's available and funding permitted to be able to contribute, a certain amount of that, at the point in time these meetings did come in, and Superintendent Layton, had just joined the school district. We had already finalized the budget for the upcoming school year, so we couldn't, really identify the amount of funding that the district would be able to contribute. As I think that it's important with the school district, have a put in the game, I guess, for lack of better words, or some skin in the game, shall I say, and show our commitment to this initiative. So I think it's important that the school district does have funding available that we can contribute, whatever we can, to help shore this up. We're not hearing any other comments or, questions from the board. I just also want to reiterate, our legal team did review this from the initiation. And they are agreeable to the terms in the JPA, on behalf of the district. And with that, I would ask the superintendent again for a recommendation.
If board president, Vice President Curry, and members of the board, recommend that we approve the Taos County Community Schools Coalition Joint Powers Agreement with Taos Municipal Schools and initial contribution of $5,000 as presented.
With the recommendation from our superintendent in place, would the board members, like to make a motion for approval?
Then I'll second it already. I'll make a motion to approve. To approve the Taos County Community Schools Coalition Joint Powers Agreement with Taos Municipal Schools and initial contribution of $5,000. I'm so very happy to second that motion.
Motion and a second.
Board Member Concha?
Yes.
Board Member King?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo?
Yeah.
Vice President Sprague?
Yes.
President Flores?
Yes. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Penny, thank you for all you do.
Takes us back to our regular agenda items. That we will amendment. Item E is the consent agenda. There are 2 items on the consent agenda. Item GA is review and possible approval of next pre-K FY fiscal year 25 grant application amendment effective October 15th, 2024. And GE is a review and possible approval of next pre-K FY 25 grant amendment bar reduction. I would like to ask Ms. Brasher if she could briefly speak on both items.
Good evening, President Flores, board members, superintendent, fellow administrators. So we've had our next pre-K program for a while, which is an expansion. And we actually did get other extensions from keeping, got 2 of our classrooms that have 3-4 combined classrooms. So we 3-year-old infinitely. We had a deadline to open our 4th class, which was the second one, Ranchos. And we're not able to find staffing, so we're not able to open, so we do return funds to students.
And from what I read in the package of return of the fund, be for the duration of the grant? Or?
It's for the duration of the grant, but I don't go and reapply for it next year. I'll have to do another needs assessment, see if the community needs that, see if you can find that. And we can find out if there's a chance that we can get that funding back. Other classroom. Right now, there's currently the need.
I do just have a question in regards to the inability to find staffing, we just didn't get anybody that applied.
Right, we haven't got people that applied. Actually, there two of our pre-K positions, the teachers are looking to do transfer. Where the district, we've not found those people either. It's just, pre-K is a difficult place to get staff. The Mexico M&M has a program, we're trying to work with them, see if we can get more high educated teachers.
There was a little concern the fact that we have terms of funding and they weren't able to find staffing. I have heard from members of the community the need for pre-K and fact, one of the employees that I have to work with who moved here recently had a child that is of pre-K age and I guess it's full. Something like that, right?
Yes, the 3 classrooms have our full, and it's a nice piece not for the community because there's no cost to the parents who 5 days a week. We are now at the same schedule as the school district. It's just we start our 5 days to 10 days later and then we
end our program without 556, because we don't have quite as many contact members. But it is a good program. And I really hope we'll continue to see if we can find another pre-K teacher, so if it looks like we have somebody, then I can see that we're applying for this next school year.
Thank you, Ms. Bashir. Vice President.
Hi. So what qualifications does someone need to get?
Basically, the same qualifications as any other teacher, because we are bound by New Mexico PED. So they have to have a bachelor's degree in early childhood.
Secondly, do you know how far and wide we advertise that position?
With whichever our normal processes are, or I put out word in this, I said.
Who would know that? Do you know the normal process for advertising? Is that's just?
That we would determine it is with our application system that goes on, I think the Mexico baby is one of those. Which around the nation, we can get onto that site to take a look at it and see what applications we have available.
I know that there's a source, a couple of times that you want us to increase the. Our footprint for advertising.
There's another program, that we utilize as well to advertise for, any positions that we have in the district, that the main is.
But like it goes into the Albuquerque Journal, Santa Fe, Mexican, it goes into the papers, you know?
I don't believe it goes into the papers, with advertising.
Superintendent, you can speak on that?
So one of the things that we're also working on is how to, besides the newspaper component, do it electronically across the country. We've had a couple of bites, I say, one from my former state that may be coming this way as well. But we are expanding our reach nationwide. And so, we've had a couple of bites, but pre-K is one that generally is like special ed in particular is a difficult one to get those catches, but we'll look at expanding even more if we can.
Another way that I'm looking for, individuals is we have 5, 6 contract companies that we're working with that are bringing teachers to us, and even though it appears that it costs more, the same thing about level 3 teachers. And maybe, so they're looking for pre-K teachers to ourselves also, and they have found us by monthly teachers.
What about, excuse me, utilizing the pool, retired teachers?
I bet. And right now, there are retired teachers within the community. I have most of them speak up and do it already. Oh, yeah.
They may, in fact, while we were looking for this position to see if we could fill it, we did reach out to some of our teachers that had just retired and were in the early elementary field that better fit into that position, but again, going back to pre-K is one of our positions.
And there's a specialty there.
Right.
Early education, yes. Okay.
Well, I do believe that there's definitely a need community for that. If we could, work diligently to cast a wide net, superintendent. I know, advertising and all the papers, I'm not sure if there's a cost associated with that, but I know that, there are people that read the Mexican and the, Albuquerque Journal religiously, for working.
But that's, this speaks, President Mark, thank you, and Superintendent Layton, of how important it is for us to really keep this student, teacher housing in front of us. We know houses, it's gotten very expensive. I'm happy to stay. I think we're getting a little flat line, which is great, okay? COVID wasn't our friend with housing. Everyone, decided to move the house, but I don't think they're gonna stay, but I believe we can solve our own problem. I totally agree with the comments. President Mark, I think we need to be strategic. Actually, versus the phone works a couple ways. You can call out or you can receive a call. But I think we need to pinpoint areas. I mean, someone lives in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, they would love to come out here to the mountains. I think Ms. Brashear, you're Midwest Gallery.
So I'm actually from New Mexico, I lived in Colorado.
Colorado,
But-
yeah, but, being a Flatlander initially as a kid, I know when you come to places beautiful as Taos, it takes your breath away. And I think we can, superintendent is falling in love with me quite quickly, and so, hey, get them out of the heat.
Well, the contract company, actually, most of them cover the nation. And we do have a number of people that come from other states through the contract companies. And some of them, we have an obligation of 2 years to keep them under contract, and then we can hire them with no non-compete clause. Some of them we do have a non-compete clause. It just depends on the contract company. And we have, in the past, some of those contractors have hired them directly.
Yeah, it's just, I know that it's hard, I know. Rents are very expensive.
I fought as long and hard as I could until I had a meeting with Howard CB, the CCCB, and they said, it's time. So.
Appreciate it, Mr. Brashear.
Questions and comments?
Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Layton, you have a recommendation for item G, A, and B of the consent agenda.
President Flores, Vice President Spring, I recommend the approval of the New Mexico pre-K fiscal year 25 grant application amendment that's effective October 15, 2024. And the New Mexico pre-K fiscal year 25 grant amendment bar reduction be approved as recommended in consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve, the items of the consent agenda, recommendation of the superintendent.
Second.
Second Vice President.
Board Member Concha?
Yes.
Board Member Key?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo? Vice President Spray?
Yes.
President Flores?
Yes, item H, superintendent report, HA, assistant outcome governance training, that the superintendent provided us with, reading material.
President Flores, Vice President, members of the board, in front of you have just some reading material. David Johnson from CDS reached out to me. He said that he noticed, or I should say recognized, that our district is moving towards the future report for the student outcomes. And so he offered, and a good four-letter effort, free 6-month commentary for the board, professors of government on implementing student outcome focused governance. That will go from January through June. It's free. They've already done a pilot program in the fall. 3 out of the 4 districts piloted. They didn't name the district, but 3 out of 4 that piloted showed great improvement in student outcomes. So he just asked me if I would possibly be in consideration of this complimentary training. I said I'd ask my board at the next meeting. And so what you have in front of you is essentially an overview of what that training would look like. Going from objectives to that would be in the first month. And of course, I'm doing. Yes,
Do you have an extra one?
yes, yes.
Yeah, the program punch it in.
Yeah, there's two attached on this, so to this.
I'll get it.
There was two.
Yeah.
They're stuck together.
So you mentioned, the training and outline.
Yes, yes, sir. Outline, to go by month to month, what you think of the first month, which will be on the second page. With the session, first session, proposals, coaching, what to expect, second month, what to expect, third month, and I highlighted the third and fourth month, because it talks about establishing goals and guardrails for adoption. It also talks about adoption guardrails leading to our strategic plan. So all of this is the continuation of the district's focus on student outcomes. But it would allow the board to see now as a board, we would be able to facilitate and support the student outcomes. And so there's many references to reading material on last page of our book. I will say, one of them that we do have that organization in Gabriel we have. But also third one for this system of execution is something that we've also submitted here as a district from Kevin and all those campuses. So it would align, but again, it is just something the board, if you all want to take advantage of free opportunity.
Any questions?
I think it would be great.
I'm sorry,
I-
can you give us a date and a time?
Again, it starts in January all the way to.
Okay, thank you. And then does that have you on there?
Would you like this as an action item?
Yeah, just wanted to see, so as part of our report, if y'all would like to join.
And all items on the board are subject to action, item for the agenda, shall I say. I think it's a great initiative, you know, any kind of professional development is welcome. Obviously, we have to vet some of that professional development, see that the lines are goals and strategic plan, and it can be beneficial to staff. And, the district, I'm actually quite happy to hear that, we have been presented this, talked about student outcomes, something that the board and superintendent and the district have worked on as part of our standing agenda. So, you know, how ironic, I think, the good Lord hears our thoughts and, you know, where we want to go. And I think this would be very beneficial, at least that's my personal opinion, and I'm pretty sure the board feels the same way. Just for the record, I'll make a motion to approve the district to participate in this free CES training, student outcomes, governance framework training. Can I get a second? You have a second?
Board Member Concha?
Yes.
Board Member Feeny?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo? Yes. Vice President Spray? Yes. President Flores?
Yes. Thank you, Superintendent, for bringing this to the board and sharing this with us and sharing this with us in the meeting. I think it's really important that the community be aware that, you know, we're continually working to improve our student outcomes and, you know, provide professional development for staff. It's very important and it speaks volumes, and thank you so much.
Thank you for your support, Mr. Spraven.
Thank you.
Okay, so item 5E of new business, the only item remaining of the business agenda item is discussion of the nepotism rule requiring 4 waiver for a district to initially employ a family member of the superintendent and possible waiver of such rule by the board as authorized by NMSA 1978 22-5-6A to permit the spouse of the superintendent to be eligible for initial employment by Taos Municipal Schools. Superintendent Dr. Antonio Miller.
So, Board President, Vice President Spraven and the board, so this is just bringing up the possibility of my spouse who is retiring Friday. From the district, and I will be here, but this is a possibility to employ her for the district, possibility, yes. We have begun the process, this is just for transparency on my part, with the board, in terms of the possibility of her. Now, what I will say is, when we come to the petition, of course, who will oversee, she will require transitions. She does come with 12 years in the library area, 32 total is in education as an educational aide, so, there would be areas, supervisor, that would not do the oversee. And there's a position for an EA in library, but it would be where they would respond to either a principal, and then the principal meeting, or perhaps this is kind of, we're working to divide the library program, which would be possibly working on our district librarian who would work on the director, would win them. So there are areas of supervisors where I would not be directly supervising my wife if she so chooses to apply. And we'll do the entire process of the hiring process. What I will say though, given the skill set in the library, I believe that someone with that skill set could benefit the students of the district, and we really should open to using those kind of skills that will benefit our kids in the district. So I'm here to provide transparency to say, if you approve it, then the possibility is there to apply. But if you don't, if we know at this point, because of the, she would.
Is there any, comments or questions from the board?
I don't know, I know the supervisor,
Yes.
even at.
Well, that's for a different discussion.
No, you'll be like, easy on our watching. No, yeah, I have no issues with it. That real clear, the change of the directions there.
For the referendum, the, policy governs that, and we have a couple of comments. So there is no superintendent shall not actually employ or approve the initial employment in any capacity of a person who is a spouse, father, father-in-law, mother, mother-in-law, son, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, brother-in-law, sister or sister-in-law, or member of the local school board or the local superintendent. The local school board will waive the nepotism rule for the family members of the local superintendent. Nothing in this section shall prohibit the continued employment of a person employed on or before July 1st, 2008. I think superintendent, session is very brief, but I do have a question that was gonna ask it, the purpose and the reasoning for this request for a waiver.
So the purpose of it is just a potential to apply, and to be very clear, she has not applied. But this is a potential to, should she decide, and I leave that up to my spouse to do. But should she apply, this is particular waiver would address that. If, without the waiver, we would be declared that she cannot apply because of the nepotism. And so I want to be transparent with the board and the public, just to know ahead of time that if she allow make that decision, but if she so does choose, we know that the nepotism will happen with.
I have no issue, with this request, being that it is covered in state statute, the school boards may waive this, rule for family members of the local superintendent, but I will ask, that the board entertain as part of a motion that, superintendent, and it will be part of a motion, if it's my recommendation to the board, that there will be 2 layers of, supervision put in place. So if she is employed by the high school, then her direct supervisor is not the principal, but there's 2 layers of, supervision.
Maybe that would be like principal in the library.
There would be 2 people before it would reach my level.
Right, gotcha.
I'm just thinking out loud here, President. Mark, is the associate superintendent able to actually be that third, or is it goes right to the superintendent? I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, I can maybe answer that one, in the together, depending on the layer of the supervisory. So it would be, and this would be an example where at the library, the district librarian that we currently have, the one at the high school would oversee. Then that librarian would oversee the principal. You see, I oversee the principals.
Right.
So then that would be at least the 2 layers. So it would depend on what departments they oversee and the direct supervisory roles.
So you handle all HR, all in one.
Yeah,
Well, ultimately, I'm overseeing all the places, so that if we can load all that, we're gonna, who will set that to chair.
So we couldn't specify, I'm thinking out loud again. So we say we name the associate superintendent, so it never goes to superintendent. You follow me? I mean, we could, we even make it that tight, just like, okay, you know, so you wouldn't be ever, you would never be in that chain of command in this situation.
I think, I'm not sure if we can, because ultimately the superintendent oversees the entire district, so.
That in itself is like a special circumstance already. A special circumstance then.
For future,
Well, if we may make it specific for this, like, now the thinking out loud, is this something for council? Just to say, oh yeah, you guys can do that. You gave you like the motion, President Mark is sharing with us. Okay, I want 2 layers.
So for the board, council did review this, council, shares that, council has advised boards on this issue many times. State law governs the issue, and the statute state as read. And I can't share everything here, but it does say that, it would need to be discussed in open session, and that there would be recommended, you know, that of course, the superintendent does not directly oversee the family member. The reason I think having 2 layers of supervision is important, and I know a superintendent, it would be to protect, without respect, the principal, not to say, let's say that we have a superintendent and employees, their wife, in this case, you know, we're entertaining this. And for some reason, the principal maybe having some, performance issues with, the wife of a superintendent.
I would direct another member of the cabinet to oversee that.
The superintendent obviously may have issues with principal and not renew the principal's contract the following year. So I think it's important that there's 2 layers that are in place. You know, so it would be in the sense that the superintendent and his wife took many years of library experience. It would probably be in the best interest of the district that it would be the head librarian that would oversee the employee, and then the principal oversees the librarian, and the superintendent oversees the principal. So there is multiple layers. But I think it's to protect the superintendent and also to protect the principal, or just multiple layers. I don't foresee us having any issues of superintendent wife being unruly or performance issues. She has worked in the school district in the state of Texas. I know the district has had issues, hiring librarians, finding right people. I would just want to also, you know, for the board, and I convey this to the superintendent, you know, that, there's always that perception, you know, of the community, perception of the board, the superintendent, and we want to make sure that we have enough safeguards for everyone. I know the superintendent has uprooted himself and his family to move here, he's made a commitment to the district. I have full faith that, you know, he plans to invest himself, and, you know, his wife has some contributions to make in the district in a positive manner. I don't see an issue with that, but if the board's agreeable, I think it's important that we have more than 1 layer of supervision in place.
Definitely, and I think maybe we would, board member King was saying that if it ultimately had to go past the principal, is there some other side you?
I would have sent the appropriate cabinet member to oversee the issues.
Yeah, that's what, so that's a girl, I think Dr. Lee was going to do that. Seems like
I don't know, we make the decision.
Right. Right. But I mean, that makes it pretty, it doesn't step in and just a final word.
Correct, I wouldn't be part of that process. Probably first conflict of interest, so I would assign a cabinet member would take care of that issue.
You just,
The cabinet member not related to your work.
Oh, not related to you. Although,
My comment was just to reiterate what, our chairman stated. I fully and completely transparent that the research, legal has reviewed it, and again, we see the need that, it's the commitment that was made by Dr. Lason's wife, even to come. And just, I don't know if she's gonna wanna give it a time, she might just decide just to be retired, but again, to be given that opportunity, I think, in a in our district that is so needy of people that would be so qualified. I would say, I agree. With the decisions that have been made already.
I'm not gonna ask you for a recommendation on this. So this is a first in my mind, you're being on the board, I've served under, served with many superintendents, but I have no issue with it, I stated, so I will make the motion, to approve the waiver for this, let's see how can I word this here.
Second.
Hold on, one second, secretary, we have a second from secretary to. Let me just figure out this is,
It would be to waive the deputies and.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. So I would make the motion for this, for the board to waive the nepotism rule requiring, you know, I will make the motion for the board to waive the nepotism rule to allow the superintendent to employ a family member according to NMSA 1978-22-5-6A to permit the spouse of the superintendent to be eligible for initial employment by Towson schools with the condition that there will be 2 layers of supervision beneath the superintendent.
I'll second.
We have a second from Secretary Trujillo.
Member Butcher?
Yes.
Board Member Lee?
Yes.
Student Secretary Trujillo?
Yes.
Vice President Sprague?
Yeah.
President Flores?
Yes.
Thank you, board.
Then I would just caution the superintendent to approach this subject with diligence and ensure that all candidates for the position that is open are treated fairly. That is handled by our HR department.
Yes, sir.
And we just gotta weed out, you could get bored and house.
Okay,
No jinx it.
It's just like I've never worked again.
was just item J, board policy. So the board did discuss, to have a item, standing item on our agenda of board policy. I reached out to the superintendent and informed him of the board's discussion. So from now on, we will have a place on our agenda for board policy review. And in this instance, being that we are going to perform the mid-year evaluation of the superintendent, I thought it was imperative that we place in our board packet the review of C-0600 CBI superintendent evaluation. Some of our, this is the first initial meeting with this in place. I just wanted to share with the board that some of our policies are quite lengthy. I don't believe that we'll be reading through all the policies, but they will be placed in our agenda for the board to be up to date on policies for staff to be able to see that the board is reviewing their policy. For staff also to be able to review the policy and be aligned with it. And so right now we have, and I kind of want to share, I don't want to take up too much time, but the board has the sole responsibility for evaluating the superintendent and shall evaluate the superintendent using the process described in this policy. The board shall evaluate the superintendent at least twice each year. Evaluations are confidential. The evaluation shall relate to the superintendent's duties, responsibilities, and progress toward established goals for the superintendent aligned to the board's strategic plan. The evaluation process described below shall be utilized by the board to enable the reemployment and compensation decisions to be made in a timely manner. The completed summative written evaluation shall be presented and discussed with the superintendent in an executive session with the board prior to the reappointment decision by the board. The evaluation cycle shall correspond to this year, with the mid-year evaluation occurring before the end of December and an end-of-year evaluation occurring before June 30th. The mid-year evaluation will be less formal than the end-of-the-year evaluation. Written comment and no ratings. As part of the end-of-the-year evaluation, the board shall complete a formal written evaluation. The superintendent shall ensure a timely evaluation process occurs by working with the board president, scheduled to executive session beginning in October, November for the mid-year evaluation, and two executive sessions beginning in April and May for the end of the year evaluation. The superintendent, in collaboration with the board president, shall provide each member of the board a copy of the evaluation instrument to be used at least one time before the first executive session on any superintendent evaluation, along with a copy of the most recently completed evaluation for records. The board shall meet in an initial executive session to complete any written evaluation of the superintendent in a single document, which conveys the board collective judgment. Any written feedback to the superintendent by the board shall be approved by a majority of the board in open session. After written feedback is approved by the board shall meet with the superintendent in executive session to discuss the evaluation of the superintendent's performance. The working relationship between the superintendent and the board and the superintendent contract with the superintendent present. A copy of the written evaluation shall be given to the superintendent. If a disagreement with such evaluation, the superintendent may respond right to the board, and the response shall become part of the evaluation. Upon the conclusion of the evaluation, the board may determine whether any changes in the compensation benefits or contract terms of the superintendent are warranted. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the board shall not, during any time between the date of the regular school election and when the school board positions are on the ballot, and 60 days after the convening of the executive board, or until 60 days after the majority of the local school board has been appointed, extend the superintendent's contract or terminate the superintendent without cause. The evaluation and any comments by the superintendent shall become a part of the superintendent's confidential personal file. I just wanted to read out because I believe it's very important. Actually, as a board, it's one of our most important duties to evaluate our superintendent. Again, like I stated, I don't think it's necessary to read every policy as they will be presented. Superintendent, I think, that I discussed with him is if you could present that policy that's relevant to items that are on the agenda, at that meeting, for us to review, and also to be part of the record. So with that being said, it's on that item, item A, actually, the board have comments, questions regarding this standing item, or move forward with it. Hearing none, item A, report on the closed executive sessions. So we had an executive session on December 5th, 2024, for our first beginning of our superintendent evaluation. We also had a meeting on December 9th, 2024. I was not able to be present for the December 9th meeting, but I was present for the December 5th meeting, and as a report I shall read. The board met in closed executive session on Thursday, December 5th, 2024, from approximately 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Discuss limited personnel matters as mandated under section 10-15-1, 882 of the Mexican Meetings Act. Specifically for the board to discuss and prepare the superintendent's mid-year evaluation as stated in the notice and agenda of the meeting. All 5 board members were present. And I have heard the matters discussed in this closed meeting were limited to those stated here. So with that being said, Vice President Spray oversaw the December 9th meeting, and I'll turn it over to her.
All right, thank you. The board met in closed executive session on Thursday, December 5th, 2024, from 4:10 p.m. to 6:39 p.m. to discuss limited personnel matters as submitted under section 10-15-1, H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically for the board to discuss and prepare the superintendent's mid-year evaluation as stated in the notice and the agenda of the meeting. Vice President Ray, Board Member Concha, and Board Member King were present. Secretary Review participated virtually.
And President Flores was absent. Vice President Lang Sprague, please confirm the matters discussed in this closed meeting were limited to those stated here. They were.
Thank you. I do see that there was a slight hiccup in the and I'll take this up for this in the presentation of the agenda. So per our legal counsel's direction, the board has discussed amongst the board in executive session, this states here that we need to approve the superintendent evaluation as completed in executive session, and then meet with the superintendent in executive session to discuss the mid-year evaluation. So we have the agenda item of approval of the mid-year evaluation after the executive session. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to move item M up in front of item L for approval of the superintendent's mid-year evaluation as completed in executive session.
Second.
We have a second, can you please?
Board Member Crenshaw?
Yes.
Board Member Lee?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo?
Yes.
Vice President Sprague?
Yes.
President Flores?
So the board has been presented with the final documents of the superintendent's evaluation as completed in executive session with legal counsel. The board will make two separate sessions for approximately 4+ hours. I believe the superintendent will be happy with the evaluation. We will discuss it with the superintendent, and as for board policies, if the superintendent has any comments or concerns, you can present them to the board in writing, and then we will accompany the superintendent evaluation. Would one of the board members like to entertain a motion to approve the superintendent evaluation as worked on in executive session?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve superintendent evaluation.
I'll second.
We have Secretary Trujillo.
Board Member Crenshaw?
Yes.
Board Member Lee?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo?
Yes.
Vice President Sprague?
Yes.
President Flores?
Yes. That moves us to item L, executive session, L A, incident personnel matters. As permitted under section 10-15-1, H2 of the Wisconsin Meetings Act, specifically so that the board can present to and discuss with the superintendent and superintendent's mid-year evaluation. I will make the motion to enter into executive session at this time. It is 7:53 p.m.
Second.
We have a second from Vice President Cynthia.
Board Member Crenshaw?
Yes.
Board Member Lee?
Yes.
Secretary Trujillo?
Yes.
Vice President Sprague?
Yes.
President Flores?
We're in executive session.
So I need to actually real quick. So we have some paid